My name is Sunil and my student ID is ST20319854. Today I am talk about international business across culture, understanding Chinese culture and its impact on businesses. Introduction. China is a culturally rich and diverse country. This prescription analyzes national and regional culture, examine how Chinese culture influences business practices, offers insights for international companies. China is a civilization that dates back a long way, having well established traditional philosophies and social structure. It has a rich and complicated culture and entailing that mainstream Han culture, confession and tradition and a variety of regional identities. This presentation aims to audit China's national culture as well as subnational culture based on the known theories of the culture. It will evaluate the effect that this culture value have on the business environment in the China and the implication that they would have an international firms that seek to be business in China. This presentation also suggests tips for foreign firms so that the can steer through this particular condition. Overview of China national culture. Han Chinese from over 91% of population. The official language is Mandarin and regional dialects and exist. Confucian and Buddhist influences dominated. Collective shape society values. Confucianism is a religious system reinforces the aspect of structure, respect, harmony, and group of accessibility, continuing that culture underpinning of China. Although Mediterranean is a national language, there is a culture diverse in the form of the widespread regional language such as the Cantonese, Shanghais, and Hokkien. Demographically dominated 91% Han Chinese, 55% non-ethnic minorities may wake up and the rise subcultural diversity China. It's about an collectivism where the good of many take precedence of over self-interacted. Loyalty, social harmony, and family value are social norms that enhanced Hofstede's culture dimension in China. Power distance, individualism, and long-term orientation. China has one of the highest score in the power distance, indicating that is the strongest hierarchical society where there is a very low tolerance for questioning authority. The score of individualism shows that collective inclination are pronounced and loyalty to the family teams and organization it pro the male aspect of and competitive goal oriented would that aspect such as nevertheless the low certainty avoid it and indicate that is comfortable with flexible and adaptive strategies. Regional and subculture diversity. North is more direct structured and South is a flexible, entrepreneurial and relationship oriented. 55 ethnic monarchies with unique customs, diverse food, festival and across. Chinese culture is one dimensional and not including Beijing and Tianjin is more informative and hierarchical where the south including Guangdong and Fujian. The entrepreneurial and adaptive is decision making. Even the great number of the ethnic memories like Ezhong retain special language and dress well as the tradition. As an example, the people observe Islamic belief in the region and the Bytens and Buddhist knowing regional difference is a visible complex making foreign and investment because what applies Shanghai is not necessarily applicable in all high and low. Chinese is a high context culture. Indirect communication is a common phase and social harmony are critical. Trust is built gradually through relationship. China has a high context culture according to the model described by Edward Hall and messaging by neither clearly stated on the actually open. Instead implicated by responsible by situation relationship should can be maintained by being polite, being quiet and using indirect speech. Its key factor in the nation of the Mianzi, which is upholding dignity and society harmony, particularly in business relationship can be broken by losing faith, trust not. It is built over time through a process called interactions. The substantial aspect or common communication need to be learned by foreign businesses, avoid misunderstanding and establish effective partnership in a mutually respectful dimension. Confessions and culture values. Emphasis, hierarchy, respect, and duty. Family is model for all society relationship, and harmony and order and education, moral description are core value. Confucianism still influences the social and organizational life in China. It promotes a respectful hierarchy where others, especially young people, respect older people, peace, and more important to conflict. This has a implication for the interactions, the workplaces, and leadership style as well as style dimensions. Learning and formal discipline are valued by have helped make China very competitive on the professional front of foreign firms should not ignore these values when developing HR practices, leadership style and motivational system to the tandem with examinations and social norms for Chinese employees. Key features of Chinese business culture: decision making, relationship, drive negotiation, patience, and indirect negotiation. Respectful communication reflects status as harmony. In China, business power and the leader are and companies are governed by the executive. Its personal relationship Guangxi and enormous during negotiation affect negotiation outcome strongly as compared to a formal context. There are indirect way to communicate to ensure harmony. It requires to several meetings and time before deal with the structure by foreign businesses. The such as using two hands and when passing over business cards referring to title properly, that is to say creating trust and credibility with the Chinese business world. Guangxi and business relationship. Guangxi means personal network built on trust, essential for partnership access on and influence, build built over meals and sharp experience and favors. Gift giving and loyalty matters deeply. Guangxi is not out and a new networking but rather a culture belief need have a favor and repaid. Chinese decisions are not just for or price based or relationship as well as Guangxi cultivated by having meals together and through gestures of individual and exchanges of a favorite despite being regulated today. Gift giving is a symbol of role play. Multi- Multinational companies that are looking to expand internationally should take time to build Guangxi. By this should perfectly by employing the local partner or manager to get the feel of the local so- social environment and culture of forming business relationship in China. Influence of culture of business practices. Leadership style are top down. Team cohesion is valued over individually. Risk risk avenues influence strategies. Innovation with structure boundaries. Harmony over aggressive competition in decision making. The China culture dimension, its management practices and behaving at the work. Leaders on the believed to be seems to direct rather than ask questions, invite a argument. There is a preference for group harmony and performing rather than earning individual recognition among employees. The leader engages the product decision making that influenced by confusion and collective culture, which has low risk taking behavior. Innovation task place but within the structure abundant implication for international businesses. Need culture sensitivity and adaptation. Misunderstanding hierarchy and guangxi leads to failure. Told communication style are essential. Long-term partnership priority over quick deals. International companies that come to China have to learn about their culture. Infrastructure opportunity may be lost to misstep or regarded to authority and in relationship or direct communication opens to as an assumption in the Western world could contract that hierarchy and relationship structure of Chinese society. It would be success in eating trust flexible in style of negotiation and priority long-term corporation. Even foreign managers need to localize their leadership and style recruitment practices. Corporating even foreign managers need to look leadership and style and protect making managers because such practices are unlikely to go according to just culture adaptation strategies. Hire local talent and culture adverse, respect Guangxi and Mianzi, adapt making to Chinese values. Foster communication, build trust before pressing context. The purpose of the localization is the base of successfully culture adaptation. The recruitment of the local employees that culture constant guarantees cultural influence. Observing the Mianzi and Guangxi will help induce a positive prescription. Chinese values should be reflected. Marketing including respect towards to against belong as a group of stake adherents and traditional messages do not confess to the listener and the considered. Long-term partnership will be enhanced through the display to patience and cultural respect. By doing this, brand aspect and display increased display to patients culture and the brand acceptance and engage in CSR reflecting Chinese values, respect regulatory system and culture norms, innovate with local collaborations. International companies have to devote financial capital in structure and training to ensure that their terms are ready to operate in China. Forming local partnership with NGOs, supplies and institutions increase accessibility and credibility. Employing this means to practice and corporate social responsibility that would respond to the Chinese social norms and value with the state policies and work through the culturally related the activities such as with the state of political work through the culture related and the activities such as innovate should involve partners to the country or region where the company seeks invest in order to take advantages of the local knowledge, local talent and local culture resources. And it can be said that these strategies enable that companies to be sustainable in complex Chinese marketing and also build trust, innovation and long-term business success. Thank you.